Welcome to the streets of the elite fan base, LOL. And this guy goes, Wrestling Mark 16. Sometimes I think AEW's delivery is a bit above the brain capacity of the average wrestling fan. No, dude, it's too simple and it's too predictable. That's the biggest problem. This guy goes, that's why AEW watchers earn more. They are smarter. We've covered that to death. Dave Meltzer has them believing this, that they're actually smarter than other people and earn more. That's why they sell less tickets. They make the least amount of money. Because all these super rich, intelligent people are, it's so stupid, man. I'm more than okay with that. AEW doesn't need to cater to family-friendly groups like that, like video packages, commercials, and entrances. That's what they're doing, though. That's what they're starting to do. It's video packages. They all have commercials. In fact, AEW runs during picture-in-picture during commercials. So they love commercials, bro. It's all they talk about, the key demo. Because the commercials and stuff, bro. So, yeah, they love those. And, yeah, they should cater to more family-friendly groups. They'd have more viewers. Here's me talking to AEW Defender, actually, which I bookmarked. And I made my own goddamn sicko segment. Yeah, so AEW Defender says, I know what you're thinking. This is what AEW versus the Elite should have been after they attacked Tony Khan. Did you ever think this might be a continuation of the same story? The Elite couldn't get the job done by themselves. Maybe they got some help. That is, and so I responded and I just said, that's not the story because Tony Khan doesn't believe in long-term booking. And I said, AEW is just stuff happening 99% of the time, or it's people saying, remember the indies? I got you this job. You don't value AEW, the feeling. This story does have substance for once, but it's not what you're saying. And then Defender goes, I'm going down a whole rabbit hole here. If you check my other posts, let wrestling be fun, LOL. And I did read his other posts, and I go, I've seen many breakdowns. I don't hate yours either. This Whitepool Neo Moxley clan story is starting to get over with me, but they've invaded and beat up jobbers. Nobody wants to see them fight so far. I do like what you're saying, but I just don't think TK thought it out nearly as well as you did. Please prove me wrong, TK and AEW. I want them to pull something off with this. And then Defender goes, but would you give Danielson credit to dream up how to pass off his retirement angle, or Mox credit for how to do an invasion angle when he was in the Shield? There's a lot of minds involved. And I go, 100% Danielson chooses what he does and doesn't do and who he loses to. I said from jump, Mox was the only person who made sense to retire Danielson. Yes, Mox 100% deserves credit for the neo-Nazis invading AEW thing. I just think there's an element of TK having to get his fingerprints on everything, though. It will be ex-WWE guys who thwart Moxley's group at whatever the next Blood and Guts is or something, knowing how TK books. Or else he's backed everyone into a corner where it's Darby and Garcia, etc., who save AEW, and nobody wants to watch those guys. I'm sorry, but it's the cold truth. I am praying Wardlow comes back and is the guy they stack all their chips on. And then Defender goes, yeah, we wouldn't be able to find a center ground in this discussion. You have your taste and even can't help but to say Nazi. But that's what it is. It's not like he's done a curb stomp. So here's my response. I just own him here. But it's not even like he's being nasty here. So shout out Defender, I guess, for once. But I go, it is a literal Nazi gimmick. He's taking verbatim lines and mannerisms from Romper Stomper and American History X. Curb stomping isn't exclusively a Nazi thing. However, he literally has been using that move as a signature. So you're technically wrong on that. And yes, subjective taste is a factor, but objectively, we can look at measurable data and see that nobody gives a fuck about Garcia, Allen, Cassidy, and those guys being the ones to stop the Moxley clan, especially when we know guys like Wardlow, Hobbs, Starks, Joe, etc. are in the company. And this guy goes, Darby, though, you don't think he could connect with the masses? I haven't agreed with you. I haven't agreed with the you have to be huge argument since the WCW days, so hearing it become tiresome. In a world that watches people act crazy for clout, Darby tops them all just by being natural in himself. So I took the size argument completely out of it. And I go, I think he would have years ago, but they squandered it, and he's been overexposed. Instead of going the Sting, Jeff Hardy route, he went, as you say, the doing crazy things for clout route. The problem is that nobody who does crazy for clout has a real connection with anybody in 2024. They're all just looked at like assholes. From those influencers like Neon and Sneeko, etc., to the newest Jackass 4 movie. It's just viewed as a hack and talentless way to get attention with no real payoff because people don't care. I can go on World Star and watch an idiot jump through glass for nothing. That's why the why and the substance of the story matters more. If he's doing a stunt with purpose, it'll connect. If it's just to snip at CM Punk and Twitter marks or whatever, it's clown. And then dude just had no response, because how do you respond to that? You can't. Is there any more AEW originals? That's the problem too. When they have guys like Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Ricky Starks, and sitting at home, Hobbs, whatever, we're not going to buy into like Garcia, bro. I'm sorry, and he's like, size hasn't mattered since WCW. That's not true. They had the literal cruiserweight division. They had the cruiserweight tag titles to be different from the normal tag titles. They kept it all separate. Oh, did Rey Mysterio have a match with Hogan? Yeah. Did Billy Kidman have a match with Hogan that everyone hated back then, mind you? Yes. And some people can do that, and you can do it sometimes. That's why it works, because it's sometimes. You can't do it all the time. So it is like this whole, a guy's bigger. That's a huge factor. So Triple H's thoughts says, these people have to be clinically insane to compare this to Austin and Rock. And yeah, you think you're special. You do. Like they're quoting the Limp Bizkit song or whatever, I think. And yeah, Austin the Rock is Jack Perry and Garcia. It's just so not true, dude. You dissent. Okay, we'll read a fantastical tale on the show sometime. So this is from AEW Neckbeards, right? Where all these white knight, I don't want to be like SJW's the woke and all that, but it's what it is. Like all these guys white knighting for all these dirt sheets, women's wrestling, the best women's roster in the world. WrestleDream goes down. There's one women's match on the pay-per-view. And Mariah May comes out here, and the media didn't have one question for her. All these people talking about women's wrestling, they didn't have one question for the AEW Women's Champion in the most stacked division, and they clear WWE's women's roster. That's the best division ever in women's wrestling. There should be more women's wrestling. AEW WrestleDream has one women's match on the pre-show, one on the pay-per-view. These sweaty marks have no questions for Mariah May.
So please raise your hand and we'll get you to the microphone. Any questions for Mariah May, who is still the women's world champion?
Don't be shy. What's wrong? You guys don't like women's wrestling?
Okay.
Do you have any questions? You guys like to tweet a lot? Any other questions?
I apologize for
Anything
being honest.
interesting to add?
I don't know. It's just complete foolishness. And then kayfabe goes, and there have been enough takes about the lack of questions for Mariah May to waste a Saturday on. So they're all just wasteful takes other than your take. This is a main character syndrome bitch right here, dude. That's what kayfabe is. She is a main character syndrome, kooky ass person. You understand me? But I will say it actually can be challenging to ask questions to someone fully in character and to whose story is murky. What? So I get how that can happen. That's why these press conferences are dumb. It's not hard to ask them a question, especially if, they're in character. How did you feel in the match tonight? Your opponent almost got you a couple times. You were able to fight through the adversity. I know a lot of people are sleeping on you. What do you got to say to the doubters? Kayfabe them. Miss Kayfabe, kayfabe them then. That's the answer. If they're kayfabing, kayfabe them. And ask a real question. Ask what being no one had what does being the AEW champion mean to you? Coming from Stardom, a lot of people said didn't think it was time to pass the torch from Tony Storm. Now look at you, another great title defense. I could just freestyle this. It's not challenging to ask Mariah May a question unless you've never talked to a female in your life. And so she goes, I get how that can happen. One thing I try to do is keep a notes app with 3 questions for people that will likely take the podium in assumption that 2 will be taken. Okay, maybe a good little piece of advice, but no. If you're nervous, take your shot. I asked Tony Storm an embarrassingly basic question and got the Wendy Richter answer that created a multi-month lore. Exactly. So just ask some. So I do like that she's saying shoot her shot. But yeah, Neckbeards points out just the key thing here. Neckbeard says, if you're too nervous to ask a question as a journalist, you're a fan like everyone else and not a journalist. It's like, I'm a scuba diver, but I'm too scared to just pull the trigger and jump into the ocean. Crazy. Nutty stuff. So here's some fun stuff. John Cena joining Kai Cenat live on Twitch. Sorry, I know I played it a couple times. Someone came to my door. All good. So yeah, that's hilarious. There's a couple more of these too where he's just wiling out. Like, this is funny. They pull me for this music though, for sure. So like, this shit is pretty funny. I don't know what kids like. I don't know. I yell on stream too, but I don't know like what they're doing. You know what I mean? This guy just takes his burger. I guess that guy's name's like Fannem or something like that. I'm learning. I'm hip. I'm cool. And then here is, yeah, Cena just doing this ridiculous. I don't know. That's funny. Shout out John Cena. He's always doing hilarious. So here, this is hilarious too. Tony Khan with Antonio Inoki's grandsons, and this at WrestleDream, and Neckbeards goes, as seen at WrestleDream, those AEW fans sure love Japanese wrestling and love Antonio Inoki. Listen to the crowd chant along. And yeah, it's so true. Like, and I appreciate Tony for doing stuff like this. Actually, I'll keep it small because I'll get Don Stevens. I appreciate him like keeping Inoki's legacy alive and all that, for sure. I absolutely do. But is he paying them to do this? It's like a hostage thing or something. I have no idea what's going on.
Let's all join along in Antonio Inoki's famous chant.
And the chant goes, Ichi, D,
So, Dash. One more time. One more time. Ichi, D, So, Dash. Let's all.
Oh my God. It's so cringe, guys. It's so cringe. My God. And like, thank you for like keeping Inoki's legacy alive in that. But I'm telling y'all, these gatekeepy Twitter who are like, oh, you guys don't like pro wrestle, whatever you guys don't like New Japan and Noah and all this. They don't come to these shows. They're not spending money on this stuff. This is what the comic book industry has had to figure out the hard way. These people don't buy, they don't actually support Superman. And that's why all these comics have gone. That's why these movies go to the people who are crying about them on Twitter don't actually spend the money to go see this. I'm telling you, man. The fans that they're catering to aren't, it's not going to align with growing this business the way Tony Khan wants to. Sorry, we're going to keep it positive here. Anyways, must have made him mad. Awful wrestling. So this Wrestle Cringe guy quotes Awful and goes, you still doing this, huh? But it's like, Wrestle Cringe, you're still doing this. But Awful says, no, this is when AEW died. And it was when showing the Punk thing. And it's true. That is when AEW bit the dust. So goofball Vince Russo, who, whatever, he's a goofball, but I talk to him. I think he's funny when he goes after some of these IWC marks and stuff. But Rikishi goes off on Vince Russo, goes off on him, and challenges him to a little scrap. And I think this is hilarious. I don't know if Jim Cornette reacted to this, but I'd love to hear his reaction to this, see what he has to add on to it. But here's Rikishi going off on Vince Russo.
Russo said, I don't understand this. The dude was so emotional he could barely speak. I don't understand. This is a job. The title is a prop. For the life of me, I don't understand how these wrestlers get emotional over prop. Jey Uso has been around forever. Quote.
Okay, well, let me answer that. And if you listen, Russo, first of all, you can go yourself. All right? You don't have the right to even put my son's name in your mouth. You don't have a right to talk about somebody that has laced up boots for 17 plus years, broken bones, broken body bones, sweat, tear, and blood in that ring, sometimes 45 minutes. Ladders, chairs match, split wide open. You don't have a right to open your mouth of what you think is right for a person when you finally win this so-called prop that you think. When was the first time, when did you ever get your ass in there and run a match 45 minutes?
Let's go, Keish.
Anybody can pull up a pencil and write your fantasies of what you think an angle is supposed to be. But when you talk about my boy, when you talk about you didn't understand, you got right, motherfucker. You didn't understand.
Oh yeah, can I get it?
So if you got a problem
Oh yeah, we need a yeet in the chat.
with my son, if you got a problem with him winning the strap, the so-called prop, what your ass call it, because that's what you do. You that damn computer gangster, the one that want to talk behind online. While you letting your fingers do the talking through your iPhone or whatever the case it may be. Hey man, step up. Step the up. Let's do this. You ain't even gonna have my boy there. Me and you, man.
He wants to fight Russo.
Me and you. So anytime you want to open your mouth about the Anawai Fatu clan and you try to disrespect what my boys or what my family has worked hard for 75 plus years.
I'm telling you, these guys hate Meltzer, man. That's why The Rock calls that out multiple times, 2 years in a row. They hate Meltzer, man, for sure, 100%. They don't tell him. That's why he just went, oh, you know, Sika's dead or whatever. And he didn't even know.
Years, man. This kid here bust his ass for 16 years, man. So you would never know that hard grind, let alone not being home for his kids, you know, traveling one side of the world to the next side of the world.
And then Vince would be like, Rikishi, bro, I pushed you, bro. I never had one bad thing to say about you, bro. And you know what, bro? First off, bro, let me tell you something, bro. I was on the road with the boys for 17 straight months, bro, with no break. Bro. And those writer rooms, bro, I would get beat up worse than you would in the ring. Dumbass Russo. You know, bro, I was on the road for one whole year and didn't see my kids either, bro.
To do what he's got to do, there has to be a purpose for something. What is it? What is it with you trying to, like you just trying to knock those that a moment that means so much to a person that's well deserving. So I ain't hard to find, man. You want to link up? You know where to find me. Keep my family's name out your mouth, especially my son.
Damn, dude. That's what's up, though. Shout out Rikishi. I'm sure Jim Cornette would love to join him. So this Jay Angels post says, didn't they do a podcast on YouTube and talk about another company owner of Though or on Talk is Jericho, etc.? I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Dax FTR says, dude, I feel sorry for you. Like, we get that you're a mark. So this is to JD from NY. He goes, dude, I feel sorry for you. Like, we get that you're a mark and you love that another company makes you feel special. But my God, dude, if I hated something as, maybe this isn't to JD, but he goes, if I hated something as much as you hate AEW and Tony, I'd just stop watching it, right? It's almost stalker like how infatuated you are with Tony and this company. You make it pretty obvious that you're a mark. I'm a mark too, but I don't make YouTube channels to yell and scream about an owner of a company not giving me what I want. I just enjoy wrestling. See, this is the boomerist, dumbest thing. Oh, what? You're just gonna go online and yell about stuff? Oh, you just go online and like talk about people doing things and talk about stuff? Who does that? Didn't you have a podcast? What do you mean? That's what the internet is. Like, you tweeting this out is the same thing. You're just yelling into your keyboard. Anybody who says the show, what do you? It's so fun. It's so stupid. Oh man, it drives me nuts. It's like, you're old, bro. You know what I mean? Just get over. I'm a mark too. Well, then who gives a? It's a mark yelling about mark. Why are you mad about it? You know? And like, I get it. Some people are obsessive. Some people just aren't. Like, some people just want to see AEW die just so they can go, see, I was right. There's a lot of those. Okay, a lot of them. And I get that, but there's these other content creators in our space, like in the YouTube space, like some of the bigger ones who also gatekeep, who just do the old school, like, oh, here's a reaction to Raw, whatever. And I don't get it. Why are there so many YouTube channels where people talk about the stuff they don't like? I don't get it. Why are you this whole thing? It's like, that's what every show is. Do you not watch TV? It's about people doing things you might not like that they're doing. Like, shut the up. You know what I mean? Dax from FTR. Yeah, I think this was to JD because he goes, it's almost stalker like how infatuated you are with Tony, whatever. You make it pretty obvious you're a mark, etc. He goes, I just enjoy wrestling. I'm doing real life things like paying my mortgage. Okay, so you can't bitch about wrestling on YouTube and pay a mortgage? Is that what you're inferring there? Because that's not true, right? Making sure that bills are taken care of, so you can't do YouTube and pay your bills, Dax? What are you even saying here? You're coping. This is cope. This is delusion. My tequila cabinet is full, so being a drunk drinking tequila is more important than yelling into the void and having fun. I don't get it, bro. But you're making tweets and videos about the AEW product. So that's what you guys want, right? Because if he made videos and tweets about it being good, you would love that, right? Everyone's a loser who makes videos about stuff, and you're not a loser because you have a mortgage and tequila. This is cope. This is cope, Dax. I want you to know that you're coping. Jesus Christ. I'm sure you'll say, oh my God, this guy is riding AEW. Or guys, look at him sticking up for the company he works for. What an idiot, right? I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I don't agree with that. But my God, man, we get it. You love SmackDown and Raw. Go watch it. Leave us alone, LOL. Anyway, Hog has asked for FTR to be a part of their show. I hope to see you there, brother. So you, in one breath, you tell him, just go away, man. Leave us alone. Go watch Raw. Anyways, hope to see you there at Hog Wrestling. It is cope, guys. It's coping over the fact that they're signed to these long deals and they're making money and they know what people are saying is true. Now, people do go, like, I don't call Dax FTR bald or FTR gun and stuff. I don't do all that. But what I do is call out, and Dax blocked me a while ago. I never trashed him, but dude's full on coping. RIP WWE botched. I guess this guy nuked his real account and his fake WWE botched account. I don't know. I'm not into the whole like, oh, we're gonna dox. I just did a whole podcast with Duke about that stuff. It's cringe, but I don't know. I guess he got off the net, which is good because that guy's pretty toxic, I guess. But this Konoha guy goes, you get a room full of nervous fake media AEW subredditors who don't know how to talk to women unless they're cyberbullying them anonymously on Twitter, prod them to ask Mariah May a question, and then get surprised when they shut down and can't articulate themselves in front of her. So true, man. Alfred nailed it on the head. Shinsuke Nakamura is going to wrestle Ulka Sasuke in Pro Wrestle Noah. Now, I don't know this Ulka guy. I'm not familiar with him. I'm sure Marie Shadows can tell y'all more about it. But yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura going back to Noah again in 2025. He did that, I think, last year. And then I quote tweeted and I tried, I was trying to trigger people and I go, remember, only AEW wrestlers can wrestle other places. And then, this guy goes, unfortunately, and he has an Aubrey Edwards profile pic. And he goes, unfortunately, that time of year where E-drones pretend to be Noah fans. And I go, Shinsuke is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. You aren't a fan of anything. You're a sick, disgusting loser with no friends and no girlfriend. Damn, I was in a mood this day, dude. And you hurt AEW every single day by groveling like a little bitch and trying to gatekeep wrestling. I'm a bigger AEW fan than you. He goes, I didn't mention AEW. No one is gatekeeping anything. I will give you your own friends plenty of recommendations and help with watching Noah and any other promotion. 99% of you aren't interested in that, though. Earlier this year, you lot pretended to be interested in Noah. And I said, this is precisely why I own idiots like you constantly right here. I get attacked by both the drones and sickos like you because you're all the same. Your default is accuse me and my followers of being E-drone because you're a moron. You're literally, by definition, gatekeeping wrestling in PW Noah. Nobody wants any suggestions from you. You're a stinky goober that doesn't know. Damn, bro. I went harsh on this guy. Usually, I must have been in a mood this day. And then he goes, how is it gatekeeping if I'm encouraging you to watch Noah? Guys, does this message encourage any of you to want to watch Noah? I didn't mention AEW. No one is gatekeeping. I will give you and your e-drone friends plenty of recommendations and help with watching Noah and any other promotion. Does that make you want to go out of your way to watch what this goof watches? No. And then this guy goes, well, like an hour later. So I go and do like a podcast. I'm like doing Chris Connor's podcast. This guy tweets, well, and then I just eviscerate this guy. I'm like, bro, you're a whacked out, bro. Nobody owes you a response, and I'm busy with life. I'm not sitting on X all day eagerly awaiting your reply. You just validate everything I said prior. Go outside and take 3 deep breaths, my guy. You're gatekeeping by saying now's the time E-drones pretend to care about Noah. You don't know anyone's fandoms. You especially don't know mine. And you're putting down a whole group of people who might actually become fans of the promotion because of this Shinsuke match before they even peek through the crack in the door and see what it's all about. All this does is hurt Noah and is why people have turned on AEW. If you're too stupid to understand how that is by definition gatekeeping, then Lord help you. But yeah, they said Triple H controls the weather and all this stuff. Now they're saying that, and I'm not joking, now they're saying that WrestleDream isn't trending, right? Now, do you guys remember when they did this before with Dynamite? But it turns out just all the people that are way more intelligent than rich, all the super smart, rich AEW fans, all the super intelligent, uber rich, smart AEW fans, they were too dumb and they were doing hashtag AEW Dynamite without the N. Like they were misspelling it. And then even Tony Khan fed into that and was like, we're looking into this, the suppression of hashtags, when they just weren't spelling it right, dude. So this whole WrestleDream, either these people weren't spelling this right or it just wasn't trending because it sucked, bro, and people didn't care. Like, that was not a good pay-per-view. I don't care what anyone has to say. So this guy, Hamlin Hearts Wrestling, says, AEW fans, am I right? And yeah, this guy gets DM'd all this stuff like, you'll die alone. He gets called the top one there, forgotten, right? What's it called? That one? That's rank. Pussy. Redact, he calls them, right? A restart. Put some muscle on you, little, right? And then he goes, you look like you have cancer, nunce. Ugly effer. Cancer Jack Dorsey looking ass. Going hard, bro, just over AEW, right? So we're going to get that nastiness. Brian Danielson says his son got kicked out of school for eye gouging and biting.
You what?
Maybe don't let them watch Moxley matches and don't... You know what I mean, dude? Jesus Christ, that's not a good thing, bro. You guys are rich. You should have no problems. Everything should be cool, right? So I don't know. I'm not saying rich people can't get in fights, but like life should be good to where you don't need to eye gouge someone. That's all I'm saying. You are the effing man. Phil. You guys are the men and women, mostly men, but women as well. Thank you for the $2. Appreciate you. Yeah, Danielson, work on that, bud. So Tony Khan, his birthday passed last week. The Fantastical Tales of Tony Khan. How long is it? Okay, it's a very short one, so I bring it to the show. He wrote a story about Tony Khan for his birthday. So he goes, eons ago, a prophecy spoke of a universe-altering event, a moment in time that would pull and stretch at the very fabric of existence. An event of such monumental magnitude, it would make the Big Bang look like a fart in the Atlantic Ocean. 42 years ago today, when the world's first baby to be born, with a six-pack, performed his mother's own cesarean section from the inside and climbed out shouting, all elite! Our world, nay, universe shook, trembled, but eventually stood in awe as they knew the prophecy had been fulfilled. Today, on the 10th of October, in the year 42 AT, after Tony. Yes, we celebrate the birth of our pantly gorgeous billionaire. Our universe would be significantly more bleak if not for his unparalleled storytelling and sensual eye contact. Oh my God. He's such a sick bastard. I love it, dude. Oh man, he does these run-on sentences too. but they're better than this guy's a better writer than Dave. I'm telling you right now. WrestleDream 0 Hour RJ City versus Excalibur. Shout out Botchamania and Matthew Gregg. And yeah, here is just goofiness. Like, look at this is what they're doing on the broadcast, man.
And then, sure, I'll name this team the Orange Runners. Orange, Kyle O'Reilly, and the Outrunners take on the Premier Order.
Leave it to J City to fumble a portmanteau.
Portmanteau? Excalibur, shut the fuck up. It's very telling if the dude's like, I guess I'll call them this and that. That's not how you market, dude.
Portmanteau, it's the Conglomerate Runners.
The Conglomerate Runners.
We are just over an hour away from WrestleDream.
We're going to carry on here with more action for 0 Hour. Let's take things back down to ringside.
It's the Orange Runners, Excalibur.
Go straight to hell, RJ City. It's the Conglomerate Runners that will die on
the Conglomerate Runners. How's that supposed to get over with anyone? No little kids like, oh, the Conglomerate Runners. So Rhea Ripley, like, she took that bump this last Raw and she landed like the spike of like Tiffany's heel was up in the air. And she like bumped her head. Like she did a back bump, like head landed right on the heel. Which, I mean, if that's stabbed into the back of her head and she died or something, that would be crazy. And those are freak accidents that happens in the real world. But Ripley goes, but I'm the bad person, literally wishing for me to get hurt and laughing about it. Maybe some of y'all should look in the mirror. And yeah, right on the heel, I'm crying. And then this guy goes, yeah, I saw that. I hope it's an injury. Right on the heel, I'm crying. And then this guy goes, I can't. And then she goes, the way it was just there makes me laugh. The squirming made me lose it. What? And then this person responds, how many times have I watched this? Yes. And then this person goes, that was awesome. And these are like those Liv Morgan stands, man. Look, Liv Bliss, Liv Dom WWE. Yeah, these Liv stands are real bad out there, man. They're real bad. There's a lot of them. And I love Liv Morgan. I like Rhea Ripley, but they go to war. Like, that's a whole sicko war in and of itself, the Rhea versus Liv stands, man. It's crazy. Yeah, private DM apology was fine. So we covered that. Sean Ross Sapp and them, they botched. Listen to the pod I did. And this guy here, so just an update on that I did with Duke. These guys now just respond to this dude and call him a pedo all the time, a P3DO. He's a PDF file. You know what I mean? Look, they're calling him the FGT, like, and that never goes away now. And Sean, all he did was go, sorry, in the DMs. And this guy's like, yeah, it's all good. Now forever he gets attacked by, okay, like SO, sec. He gets that for the rest of his life now. It's not right, man. You know? It's not right. The sickos are coming back to WWE. Yeah, it's true, man. It is true. They're never. But Jay from Canada says turning on KO like clockwork, can't fix stupid. So yeah, real one who's really just a WWE fan, so it doesn't matter. But he's such a sicko that he spends his time legit just doing this for Elon's money. And the fact people still respond to him is the funniest. It's like, everyone unfollow this goof and don't look at his feed, you know? But he goes, people like Kevin Owens are just perfectly content with collecting a paycheck with no motivation. He'd make the same amount of money, if not more, in AEW. That's not true. They don't have the drive that Bryan Danielson, Ricochet, Adam Cole, and etc. have. Wow. Questioning KO's drive now, are we? It's a shame because there's a lot of matches Kevin Steen could have in the dub. And that's all it is, too. The sickos just always go, Kevin Steen versus this guy, Steen versus this guy, and then you don't see any of the matches. You know, they did it with Monet too. Monet versus this person, and then you don't see them ever. So none of those matches will happen, right? Kevin Steen will come in, and then he'll get taken to the limit by Garcia, and then he'll fight Fletcher. Like, we already know the formula and how it goes down there. Say his name, and he appears. And so David Bix tweets out, but why didn't Daniel Bryan finish the story like Cody? Decades of nothing but baby-brained, insipid McDonald's wrestling did that to the fan base. That's crazy, bro. In WWE, they're telling the most nuanced stories where you're looking at the background of, you're remembering things that people said 2 weeks ago that come into effect. All of these things to the point where this is how good WWE's cooking right now, story-wise. McIntyre pulled out a bag, and we all thought it was thumbtacks, and then he dumped beads everywhere. And everyone went, oh, the whole IWC, the whole wrestling fandom as a whole melted and went, oh my God, that's brilliant. Like in that one moment, you know what I'm saying? That's how good of stories they're telling. That when Jimmy Uso came back, that everyone tried to clown Jimmy. Now everyone's like, oh, Jimmy's the old. Jimmy came back and everyone's like, oh, right? That's how good of stories they're telling right now. And I never saw anyone go, why didn't Daniel Bryan finish the story? What's the story? The story finished as Mox beating Danielson. That's the whole Blackpool Combat Club in a nutshell right there. That's what that end to the Blackpool Combat Club was always supposed to be, was eventually Mox and Danielson throwing down and Mox beating Danielson. That's the way I've always seen it. So the story was finished. And he's going to come back. Danielson's not fully retired. And Bixen Span's an idiot. And so Wrestle Counselor goes, he clearly wants NXT to be more white, which is like, I don't know, man. You got to do that to him. I don't know if that's the... But either way, you know, backup Hangman goes, I mean... Or someone says to him, your hate for NXT absolutely sickens me. And this hate for NXT is like a pre-planned effort, chat, okay? It's like a thing that all the dirt sheets were told, this is what you got to do. It's why Meltzer's on it. Everyone's on NXT, even though we just saw the ratings, and I'll pull them up from earlier. You guys gave them to me. NXT did like 710, 701, and is what you guessed. Sorry, Dynamite did 633. So what did NXT do? 639. So NXT beat Dynamite again, which I told y'all was going to keep happening. For Ibu to go, I just would like the show to be good. I'd be accentuating the talent that they do have rather than making them share the ball with some of the most unfortunate wrestlers on national TV, particularly on the men's side. Who asked for Ethan Page, Trick Williams trilogy? Doesn't watch NXT, I'm sorry. Who asked for it? Everyone wants that. Everybody wants the conclusion of that story. Right now, if you actually watch NXT, it's the only logical thing. You don't just like put Javon in there because everyone likes him right now. Javon can do jobs and he'll get his time. When Trick and Ethan leave NXT, that's when Javon will have his time. It's just it's the initiative was put out there. Hate on NXT because they saw the wave coming. These Ibu and them, they know the trends, where it was trending. And I don't give a Ibu. MJF hops in his live streams or whatever. MJF randomly jumps in his Twitter space and does his little character for them. And so you guys want to shit on NXT? I'm sorry. No, NXT's beating Dynamite. Live with it. Have a better TV show. Drain Bamager, who has brain damage, goes via F4W online. So like you can't trust that. Figure 4 and Wrestling Observer, you cannot trust. We've proven that on this show time and time again. But this guy just goes via them. So this is proof, no matter what, definitively, this is what's going on. And he goes, regarding WWE leaking AEW early rating numbers, Nielsen has finally put a stop to fast nationals of cable shows being used for that purpose. So that game is not going to continue to be played. But yeah, it is, because you don't understand how they work. Even if they're off, they track, typically. Alfred's broken it down on this show. Even if the Fast Nationals are off, they track. So it still is an indication of whatever. But I agree, the ratings is dumb anyways. We know AEW's been sucking. Like, look, man, they can't even get 700,000. The new number's like 620 for sure. That'll watch every time. So Bamager goes, or Figure 4 goes, the difference between the perception that it was a competitor to WWE to being second-tier wrestling has hurt, particularly when there was so much wrestling product on the television and streaming market. WWE also does such a good job with the media in general in both building up its product, but also in burying AEW in unique ways. How do they bury AEW in unique ways? You mean like when you guys made a whole commercial quoting Ibu, quoting Alfred Konuwa, where it's like AEW Dynamite trounces NXT. Is that how they bury them in unique ways? They've never made a commercial about you goofs. They're just main character syndrome conspiracy theorists victims, man. Notably, Nielsen has put a stop to Fast Nationals of cable shows being used for that purpose, so I don't think that game will continue to be. And they are under the assumption that WWE's leaking the Fast Nationals out to Alfred. WWE's leaking it out. But the thing is when AEW and when the Fast Nationals were getting leaked to Alfred, okay, and they were in their favor, nobody said. Alfred even said it on the show. When I put the Fast Nationals out and they're higher and look good for AEW, no one's got to say. But when I put them out and they don't look good for them, everyone wants to come at me. Follow PWT because Alfred comes here and we've been chronicling it. They're after that head. They don't like him. And there's just this initiative. We have to bury NXT as much as we can. And these are the people that think they're writing history, folks. And I will not stand for it, you know? I refuse. Ibu, you're one of my fools. Get used to it. And so are you, Alvarez, and so are you, Meltzer. So Kenny Omega, someone said Omega tweets some really dumb things. I like Kenny, you guys know that, but he goes, much like the world is rich with different culture, so is wrestling. Are you even familiar with the high speed match concept? I don't think that's a match concept unless, or Lucha Libre. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just don't think that's an actual, oh yeah, we're going to go out there. This, like, unless one match on the card, okay, this is going to be our high speed match where everyone goes crazy. Yes. But like for a whole, everyone on the show does the same, you know, and goes back and forth for 20 minutes. I don't think that's the same. That's high speed or whatever he's trying to say. I don't think that's dumb. I just think that's his way of going about it. You know, he's saying what he wants to say. She ain't wrong about this, by the way. Superstar is greater. So Mercedes Monet explains the difference between superstars versus wrestlers. Mercedes says, being a superstar is a combination of having the looks, the presentation, and a connection with the fans and the audience. A superstar is someone that people go, wow, they are just so captivating. Goldberg is one great example of many. A wrestler, on the other hand, is someone who just puts the grind and executes moves. They have all of the fundamentals down and can do the flips and the dips. I disagree, man. No, a wrestler. No, a superstar is just what Vince called it to make everyone larger than life. And he did that so that no one wrestler could be bigger than the superstars of the WWE as a whole again. Because he realized, no, I can't have one guy like Hogan come in and leave and be the guy that the whole company's based on this one. No. No one can be bigger than the promotion, so they're all WWE superstars, and thus one guy can be bigger than the superstars of the WWE. That's why he did that. It's the exact same thing. Wrestlers can have great matches too, but the superstar is really on a whole different level. She's not lying though. There is of course the wrestler superstar like Mia, who can do all of the above, like myself, like Shawn Michaels, like Bret Hart, and did I mention Mercedes Monet? Oh god, yeah, I wouldn't say she's entirely wrong there, but it's funny how she's like, but there's some who can do both. Yeah, so here's the WWE botched guy. So here's just her butt looks bigger now. She must be eating more. That's the best butt I've seen in beach volleyball. They're always weirdos like this. They're always like, go look up boobs in my Twitter and see if you find me even talking about girls' boobs. Like, it's always these weirdos. Bunny was boring. Harley has better boobs too. Harley's boobs won. Harley is funny. Nice boobs. What the fuck? We get it. You like her boobs. Lola Vice is one of the hottest small boob women ever. Not every woman needs a boob job. Did she get another boob job? Is there more? Oh, look, dude, there's more. You're a boob, botch. He's sexy. He sees sexy red. LOL. Very sexy at Cora Jade. Sexy Reba. Sexy. Comments to but why Alyssa too, who you know she hates this sexy. She looks really sexy on the left photo. Good luck to her. Legit dudes who've never talked to a girl. Crazy. Dick in his hand while he's surfing Twitter, bro. Trolling WWE people. You can't take these serious, man. It's what it is. Guys, that was our sicko segment, I guess, of the week. Throw it up on